All right, the next is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, the final preview. I'm excited about this game that's coming out because of the fact that it's a Zelda game, right? It's, you know, I like Zelda. Zelda's my favorite franchise. When this game first released, they showed a trailer for it. I was like, I kind of don't think I'm gonna play this. But then the more and more I watch of it, the better and better I think it shows. It showcases. So I'm excited. And let's just check this out.
Across a ton of different platforms and perspectives.
This should be cool, man.
Where Nintendo will take this beloved series next.
I'm excited.
They've done open world and end of the world. They've had touch controls and motion controls. They've been single player and multiplayer. The latest installment, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, is already shaping up to feel like a classic Zelda adventure, and in classic Nintendo form, also features some really cool and unique twists. It's also the first Zelda game where Zelda is fully playable through the entire story.
Yep.
And with that, she's brought a whole new way to experience it.
Let's check out Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
By learning Echoes, Zelda is able to quickly build up a collection of objects, creatures, and more that she can use to traverse the world.
That menu looks like, you know, that's probably the new menu of the game. The series.
Chaos, which Zelda is unfortunately blamed for, Echoes of Wisdom opens with a post-jailbreak stealth sequence that plays a bit like that part in Ocarina of Time, where Link first sneaks in a Hyrule Castle.
Oh yeah,
However, while
I remember that.
Might be able to have Zelda just brute force this section by running and hiding, I realized it was immediately much more fun to make the castle guards think they accidentally captured an insane demonic witch who could summon furniture at a whim and torment them with magically materialized objects from the sky.
Hello, big man. Alex, what's up, man?
Now, I didn't need to play it like this, but hey, it was much funnier that way. A guard tried chasing me down, and in a moment of panic, I summoned a wooden table behind me to block him and distract him and probably make him think he was losing his mind or that the place was haunted. I then proceeded to learn more echoes from my permanent collection, a wooden crate,
So we learned echoes.
a pot that Link has destroyed 10
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. You said chilling, job applying, you know? Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. So you can learn different things with the echo. Okay.
It immediately made me wonder just how many of these things would become part of Zelda's repertoire, and if I'd be in possession of an entire IKEA furniture catalog by the end.
Can't you?
And that's where Nintendo's vision for the next era of top-down 2D Zelda games really clicked for me. It's been 11 years since the excellent Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds was released on 3DS.
Classic game.
A game that notoriously took the rather formulaic and predictable flow of traditional 2D Zelda games.
And that game, it was so fun, man. I want to replay it.
Defeat dungeons in pretty much any order of their choosing. Since then, Nintendo has also completely reinvented
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom not only gave players a massive open-world sandbox to explore at their own pace, they also gave us a seemingly infinite toolset to tackle them. Tears of the Kingdom especially relied on these mechanics, nudging players to build elaborate or janky vehicles and contraptions to make their way across the lands and skies of Hyrule. And between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo gave us The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, a gorgeously reimagined take
Awakening.
on excellent
I had that game.
1993 Game Boy game, now with a toyetic and claymation-inspired art style.
I need to get it back.
Traditional as 2D Zelda can get, and I adored it, but it was also a remake of a game I'd played countless times before, so it didn't exactly give us a clear vision of where the future of top-down Zelda games was heading.
And now this does.
The obvious answer at the time was to remake the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
That's what they need to do. They need to remake both of these, Oracles and Seasons.
In the same art style, since they originally looked and played like Link's Awakening did on the Game Boy Color. One of the best parts of being a Nintendo fan is never really knowing what to expect next.
That is very true.
They'll do the most obvious thing in the world. They hit you with a surprise out of nowhere.
I agree. Look at Link.
The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom takes everything they've learned from decades.
That answered my question. I just seen it. I was like, cause yo, you can just spam it. You could just spam it, right? But look. They got 3 little triangle things following the echo, and then when she puts something down, bang, it goes away. So it uses that. So you can't keep spamming whatever you got.
2D Zelda games throws in some of the freeform creativity and problem solving from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and puts it all together in the beautiful Link's Awakening remake art style.
Yeah.
It also solves one of the biggest gripes players have with modern 3D Zelda games by bringing back their traditional dungeons, a key ingredient of this cherished recipe that's been sorely missing recently.
Love to see it.
It's taking all of the best things that the 2D and 3D Zelda games have done, fusing them together to create the future of the series, and so far, it's really working for me. Seemingly every screen in Echoes of Wisdom provided me with an opportunity to
Oh, okay. I see two. I'm not even listening to what he's talking about. Okay, so it shows you, right? These things take one triangle or whatever thing to make. This has two. So okay, so it looks like you have a set amount of things that you could use, and then whenever you use it until the echo is destroyed, I guess, maybe.
Screen in Echoes of Wisdom provided me with an
Oh, that was
opportunity to
3-1.
approach it in a unique way
It's like
while still
collecting
feeling like
Pokemon.
I was playing an old school top-down Zelda game. Initially, my impulse was to just slash everything with a sword, like I've made Link do for most of my childhood and adult life.
Yep.
And I was admittedly a bit frustrated that I couldn't. It takes
Yep.
a bit to get used to Zelda's abilities here, but once you find your groove, things really start to get fun and interesting. You could throw rocks at enemies and kill them like some sort of brute savage, but wouldn't it be
Some
funny
kind of
to
brute
swarm them to death
savage.
with bats, summon moblins to target them with spears, or, my personal favorite, bowling ball them to death with a small army of adorable but dangerous caramadillos.
Wow.
I love those weird little guys. Now, Zelda does eventually get a sword in Echoes of Wisdom, sort of, by defeating an evil imposter version of Link, taking control of his iconic weapon set, and learning Sword Fighter form. This form also
Hey.
lets you jump higher and perform spin attacks, but it's not without its caveats. Zelda's sword power is on a limited energy budget, and once it's been depleted, she'll need to replenish it to use it again.
That's actually pretty
It
cool.
seems like you'll be able to expand your sword's energy reserves as you progress through the game, but at the start, it can only be used for a brief time before it runs out, at least until you find some more energy again.
Hey, that's actually
Nintendo
dope.
seems keen on making sure Zelda plays differently than Link usually does in these games, and you'll be likely utilizing her Tri-Rod and its bottomless bag of summonable objects much more often, with her sword being used sparingly and for key moments in conflicts. After all, if you've got an axe-wielding Darknut warrior in your back pocket, you're less likely to miss your trusty blade in the moment. Those Darknuts were particularly
I didn't
effective
see-
at defeating evil Link, almost to the point where I felt bad doing it. That's Link! I love that dude! Cornering him with one psychotically possessed Darknut Echo, looping around behind him, and spawning another one to catch him off guard proved to be a quick way to confuse and surprise him
Damn,
and deal
fucking
a
him
bunch
up.
of damage. But again, that was by no means the only way to take him down. I probably could have bludgeoned him to death with furniture or some other comically horrific way to kill one of my favorite dudes. Do whatever you feel you need to do. There's a limit to what you can summon with your Tri-Rod, with some things costing 1 point, meaning you can summon several of them, while
See?
others using several. I'm hoping you'll be able to expand your Tri-Rod's power later in the game, because summoning a small entourage of enemies to roll with you at any
3 hearts. He got 3 hearts this whole time. I don't know. That's not typical
time would be really awesome.
Zelda fashion game,
One of the
man.
highlights of my preview demo was passing the controller back and forth with my fellow IGN Nintendo nerd, Zelda obsessive, and good buddy Logan Plant, and seeing how he'd get through the puzzles and battles in his own way. We each had unique solutions for problems and personal favorite things we'd summon, and watching somebody else think frantically and react on the fly was so much fun.
Oh, they're gonna eat it?
Things like spiders, complete with climbable webs,
You
and
set 'em up.
fire items added a chaotic and hilariously unexpected layer to each scenario. A thing
This is
that
actually
won't
dope,
attack
man.
you or deal you damage, but if it happens to, say, light something else on fire, that fire could come back to burn you. There's a rules of improv thing happening here that totally works in its favor, and it created several laugh-out-loud scenarios that rewarded our creativity and stupidity. There was rarely a truly wrong way to solve something here.
This
in the
is
sense that you
I like the there's no set way to actually play the game. Like you can do whatever you want
technically cut
to
a loaf
figure
with
out
a
how to
spoon, but
beat the
there's
puzzle.
probably a smarter way to make a sandwich. The Superman Ruins dungeon was the perfect proving grounds to test all these toys out. It's a traditional Zelda dungeon through and through, and it looks and feels fantastic. It was truly exciting to finally be back in one of these again. But instead of relying on one newly discovered item or weapon to see it,
Spider.
like you would in an older Zelda dungeon, you're learning how to summon new things every other minute. You've got an entire arsenal to play with.
That's
and
dope.
Each room feels rife for experimentation and playfulness. Some puzzles had a clear and obvious answer, while others demanded some creativity, and seeing how different people solved them in different ways was a total joy.
Eat the fire?
speedrunning and
You gonna burn it
sequence-breaking
up?
communities are gonna have a blast with this game.
I'm gonna see.
Ever-growing library of tools and toys work wonderfully in the overworld too, which seems absolutely massive by 2D Zelda standards. I am so excited to uncover every single secret on this map.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun
Using
playing
your
this.
echoes, you'll be able to climb over walls and trees and other obstacles that used to keep you locked to specific paths and routes in the older Zelda games. I'm interested
It's
to see how
crazy
they'll
using
manage to keep players
beds.
from rushing to the final dungeon or boss, since as of now it seems like you can climb up and over nearly everything, whether you're using a spider web or a crude staircase you made out of dirty old beds, which, by the way, will slowly heal Zelda if she sleeps in them long enough, creating a very funny scenario where she takes a nap in the middle of a fight with an enemy if that's what you feel like doing.
That's crazy.
A lot of questions around how these options will play out in the full game. The final boss
This is gonna be dope.
Zelda games are epic and awesome, and also generally require a specific sword stab or a light arrow for the final blow. Will you be able to kill Ganon by dropping a coffee table on his head in Echoes of Wisdom? Who knows, but I'm excited to see players try these kind of things out.
Seismic
One
Tullus.
apprehension I do have is just how you'll organize your giant collection of
That's what I was about
items
to
as the
say.
game progresses. There are a few decent options for selecting items at a whim, like most used, but no favorites list as far as I can tell, meaning you'll often find yourself scrolling through a ton of different objects, creatures, and other assorted nonsense.
There has to be like a
at
filter
any
system.
given moment. It's not necessarily tedious, and the gameplay pauses to allow you to find what you need at the moment, but I could see it being a bit cumbersome once you've unlocked a few dozen different things in your library.
Yeah.
And with nearly every enemy and object in the world seemingly being scannable, you'll likely have a ton to sort through by the end of the game.
But do you
Echoes of
you're
Wisdom
gonna
is
know?
generally incredibly pretty to look at, which is no surprise since it's using the very charming Link's Awakening remake art style. The
Yep.
world is teeming with life, quirky characters, and
I love the way
animations,
this
and
looks,
town
man.
I visited was lovely, and I couldn't wait to meet everyone and snoop around their houses. That said, the Link's Awakening remake was notoriously taxing on the Nintendo Switch hardware, with noticeable frame rate dips frequently appearing in the overworld, and while Echoes of Wisdom feels much smoother on that front, there are still moments where it hiccups a bit. It's not a deal breaker
Hiccups?
or anything, but it's worth pointing out.
Zelda
Hey,
game with
Nintendo,
hiccups.
Whenever you're ready to release that Nintendo Switch successor you keep hinting at, we'll take it. All in all, Echoes of Wisdom feels like an earnest and clever return to the Zelda
Okay,
games
so I
I
see
grew
X
up
and Y.
playing.
Okay,
Challenging,
okay.
inventive, fresh, and genuinely just really fun. Every new puzzle and conflict is a blank canvas for experimentation, but it's all wrapped in that distinctively familiar and challenging Zelda game vibe that made me fall in love with these games to begin with. It's vintage Zelda mixed with the playful and creativity-based gameplay that younger audiences are used to building their own.
This is good, man. I think this is good. This is gonna get a lot of people into Zelda. A lot of younger people, I think, a lot of young kids, maybe, because it looks like a crafting and building what this new generation of gamers is currently into.
Stories with these days. It's not pushing that side of things as far as games like Minecraft, Roblox, or even Tears of the Kingdom does, but it's also not rigid and specific with the way it makes you approach it. Attempting to juggle several of the core tenets of
Run!
the Zelda game so special to so many people across so many generations and make them all happy is an extremely tall order. The longer any franchise thrives, the more difficult it becomes to please everyone that approaches it with specific expectations.
Yeah.
Every fan has a different reason why it's special to them. But so far, Echoes of Wisdom feels like it's taking the best elements of the most beloved modern and vintage Zelda games and making them work together.
I'm
with
excited.
Pretty clever synchronicity. Whether they'll get along for the whole trip remains to be seen, but right now it feels like a smart move and a truly exciting way to push the classic side of the franchise towards the future. For more on all things,
I'm excited. Yeah, the more and more I watch about Zelda, the Echoes of Wisdom, the more and more I'm gonna play it. It just looks dope. I'm a big Zelda fan, so we are gonna play this day one. Wait, when does it come out? When does it come out? When does it come out?
Legend of Zelda and Nintendo games in general stick with IGN.
I think it comes out September 26th. I'm almost positive. And that's perfect because that's probably the last game that I'll play before Sparking Zero comes out. So yeah, good to know.